Hi, I'm Kira. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be letting TBR prompts choose what book I read for June. Usually I have a jar filled with handwritten prompts on little pieces of paper, but I decided to upgrade and I got this box of TBR prompts called Reader Roulette from the brand Pippi Post. So we're going to use these today, and there are so many cards in here and I want to eventually use all of them for these videos. So I think what I'm going to do is pick however many cards I want for that month, and then I will set those aside and not use them again until I go through the whole box. So we use every prompt at least once before we reuse things. I just got these in the mail yesterday and I did look through all of them just to see what they were. There's some fun ones, there's some like challenge ones, picking between different books, some that are just straight to the point. So we're just gonna get started. First of all, I am in the middle of two books. I'm currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses for the first time because my bestie has been wanting me to read it for so long because she read them last year, and May is her birthday month, so I told her, okay, you can pick either ACOTAR for me to read or you can pick Magnolia Parks because she annotated Magnolia Parks for me for Christmas. So I gave her the choice and she picked ACOTAR. That is what I'm currently reading. That will be done by the end of May. I'm currently filming the 27th, so I have 4 more days to finish, and I'm making it my mission to finish it because my Libby loan for the ebook also expires on the 31st. So I will not be carrying that over to June, but the other book I'm currently reading is The House of Hidden Meanings by RuPaul. This is his memoir, and this is my like nighttime Kindle book. Read a couple pages before I fall asleep. I started this a week ago because for my bestie's birthday we were going to a drag show for the final 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. So I figured it would be a good time to start this to get me in the mood for that. So I'm currently only 68 pages into it, chapter 2. Not that far. Definitely will finish in June, but it's getting carried over. For June and for today, I think I'm going to pick 7 of these prompts because I believe I have 8 slots in my reading journal under my TBR section. So I can fit 8 books, one of which will be House of Hidden Meanings because I still need to finish it. So I have 7 slots open. So let's pick 7 books with these cards. I'm going to shuffle them a little bit. Currently my physical TBR I think is 60 something books, and previously I've only allowed myself to pick for my physical TBR when doing the prompts, but since it's kind of low in my opinion and I'm feeling confident of getting it down even further this year, I'm going to allow myself to pick either new releases I don't own yet, Kindle books, Kindle Unlimited if I have them in my library, and also rereads because I am in a very much reread mood right now. A lot of things on my mind that I want to reread. So if I find a book that matches a prompt for anything, I'm just gonna let myself pick it, not limiting myself to just my physical TBR. All right, I'm gonna show you the prompt side and just kind of pick one at random. It's a little hard to hold all of them right now because there's so many. Literally the easiest one I could have picked. Choose a romance to read. Okay. After my just big spiel of how I'm in a reread mood, I'm gonna choose a romance to reread, I think, because Off Campus TV show just released 2 weeks ago and I'm still thinking about it. I did reread The Deal before the show came out, but I didn't realize how much of the other character stories we were getting in this first season and setting couples up. So I've been wanting to reread the rest of the series, like while I'm still really in the mood. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick The Mistake for this prompt. This is book 2 in Off Campus by Elle Kennedy. This is about Grace and Logan. This is my least favorite of the series from the first time I read them, but that was 5 years ago, so things could change. I am very excited about this, and this is the shortest book in the series. It's literally under 300 pages, so I'm gonna fly through this, and then I get to read the score, which is my favorite book. So I'm very happy about this. I'm gonna put the little TBR card in here so I know what prompt it was for as we go through these. Next, let's go this side this time. Okay. Pick your most recent purchase to read. My most recent purchase is going to be something probably from last year, I think. I have been very good this year and I have read all the physical TBR books I've added to my list already this year. So I don't have anything I've purchased this year to pick from. So let me see what I can find. I don't have my reading journal from last year easily accessible down here, so I can't actually like check to see what the exact last thing was that I haven't read yet. So we're just gonna go for it. I think my best bet is to pick something I bought on my birthday bookstore trip last year because I do know most of those books. I don't think I read all of them yet, so let me see if I can find any. Also, I am down here because my TBR shelves are my bottom two shelves. Don't mind the disaster of the bookshelf. I will be filming like bookshelf full reading corner reset video soon. I'm just waiting on a couple Lego sets to release that I want to have as like main parts of my bookshelf on display, so look for that later this month. What did I honestly even buy? Or I could go with Magnolia Parks because that was the last book I received. I didn't purchase it myself though. Do I actually have anything from my birthday last year? Shoot. I genuinely, maybe I read all of them. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to go get my reading journals. I had to go find my reading journals and go through my book spot lists in them. Went through 2025, have read all the ones I bought in 2025. Went to 2024, and the most recent book on my bought list is from July 2024 of ones I haven't read yet. And that was part of multiple book order using my birthday money, like a week after my birthday. I went through because I have the dates written down of when I bought things in my monthly wrap-ups. I could choose from the multiple books, but I did have 2 different orders a week apart, so like I'm not totally sure which ones fit in the most recent of those, so I'm just gonna go with the one that is the most recent on the list that I haven't read yet, and that is going to be The Wife Upstairs by Freddie McFadden. Don't know what this one is about. So it seems like Victoria was in a terrible accident. She can't walk or speak, and her husband hires someone to care for her 24/7, and that person is Sylvia, and it seems like Victoria isn't actually as impaired as she leads on to believe, and she wants to tell Sylvia a story, but she can't talk. Sylvia finds her diary that is hidden somewhere. Excited to read this. One of the Frida books I have not read yet, obviously, because it's on my TBR still. This whole stack right here behind Bob is Frida, so excited to add this to it. When I'm done with it, this card will go in here. We'll go over everything again at the end of the video. Let's pick book 3. I'm going to shuffle them a little bit more again. Book number 3, read a nonfiction book. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I am going to, since I am technically already reading a nonfiction book that's getting carried over into June, I'm going to cheat a little bit, which is not really cheating because it's my game, my rules. I'm going to pick The House of Hidden Meanings by RuPaul for this one. I just simply know myself and I cannot read 2 nonfictions in 1 month. I need a little space between them. I only have 2 other nonfiction books on my shelf. One is Matthew Perry's memoir, and after reading a memoir, I don't really want to read another one right after it. And then the other one is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, which that one I know, since it's a bunch of short stories, I want to like take that slowly and like only read one at a time, so probably wouldn't finish that in a month. So cheating the system slightly, I guess, but do I care? No. Book 4, read a sequel. Okay, are we going with like a true sequel as in the second book, or are we gonna allow myself to do like any book after a first book in a series? Because I do have one that I need to read this month. Do we do that? I'm gonna let me do it because it's a sequel. It's after a first book. That's what I'm doing this for. Leave me alone. I'm going with the 3rd book in a series. I'm going to be reading Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is book 3 in the Hunger Games series. I haven't read this yet. I think I've spoken about my relationship with the Hunger Games series before. I watched the movies because it was my bestie's favorite movies when we were in middle school, so when I went to visit her on a trip, we pulled an all-nighter and watched like all the movies together at once. That was the first time I had ever watched them, and up to that point only Mockingjay Part 1 was out, I think. So I remember seeing Part 2 in theaters. I liked them. They're not my absolute favorites. I'm not a diehard Hunger Games fan. I am a diehard Divergent girl. Those were my movies. And so after watching the movies, I wanted to read the books because that's just who I was. It's who I still am most of the time. Some exceptions like Hunger Games, I guess. 6th grade, middle school. I checked out the first Hunger Games book from the library. I kid you not, 3 times in that 1 year. Could not make it past 100 pages, I don't think. And then I gave up on it. And then 2 years ago, I wanted to try to read all of them before Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie came out. So I did push through the first book. But then I gave up after that and just saw the movie without reading it. I think it's Suzanne Collins' writing. Something just doesn't click with me for some reason. And then I was like, okay, I'm determined this year to read them all before Sunrise on the Reaping comes out because I really want to read that book first. I read Catching Fire in April last month. I actually did really like that one. That's my favorite movie, so I knew I was kind of gonna like the book probably the most. Did like I get 4 stars. And then I was like, okay, if I read one book every other month, it will put me to read Sunrise on the Reaping in October, which is 1 month before the movie comes out, which is perfect. On my schedule in June, I need to read Mockingjay. So we're gonna read Mockingjay in June, and we're calling it the sequel for this card, which it technically is if you think about it, even though it's not second in the book series. I don't care. Book number 5. This one's poking out, so let's do it. This is a long one. No, we're not doing this one right now. This one says wrap 3 books from your shelf and unwrap 1 to read. I don't have time to do that one. I don't even think when I get to that I'm going to wrap them. I think I'm just going to do like a random number generator, picks between 3 books. But I just don't have time to pick out 3 books right now. Running on a tight schedule for today. Should I be doing this right now? No, but I have myself ready to go because I have a market later. Do I have everything ready to go for that? No. So maybe 20 minutes to finish this out. Book 5, round 2. Read the book that has been on your TBR the longest. Why did I think these cards would be a good idea? So, that's so funny. I have 2 that I know. There are 2 that I know for a fact I have had on my shelves for 8 years at least. 7 years. The first one is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. I do want to read the 2 John Green books that I have left to read before Hollywood Ending comes out later this year, so this would be checking that off my list. I did try to read this either my junior or senior year of high school during like silent reading time in my English class, but I couldn't get into it, so I stopped reading it. I was like, I'll try this later. One cool night in a most unlikely corner of Chicago, 2 strangers cross paths. 2 teens of the same name running 2 very different circles suddenly find their lives going in new and unexpected directions, culminating in heroic turns of heart in the most epic musical ever to grace the high school stage. Clearly, I didn't read the back of this because I would have pushed through, but I knew there was a musical involved. And then the other one is Nerve by Gian Ryan. Nerve is one of my favorite movies of all time, highly underrated in my opinion. So I picked this book up because I didn't realize it was a book first, and then I saw this when I was on Book Outlet one time and picked it up. If you don't know Nerve, it's basically like this dare app. You sign up, you can either watch or you can play the game, and it gives you dares for money, and if you don't complete the dare, you're out. And sometimes the dares are fatal. I have not heard great things about the book, so I've been pushing it off because like I love the movie so much, and honestly, do I even really want to read the book? I think I do want to give it a try eventually. I just don't think that try is gonna be now. After reading the back of Will Grayson, I am actually quite intrigued to read this and get it off my TBR because I was planning to read this eventually this year anyway, so it might as well be now, right? Let's go with this for read the book that's been on your TBR the longest. Did I say I was gonna add another book? We're pulling 8 now since I used the memoir as my nonfiction pick. 3 more to go. Book number 6. Read a book that you were gifted. I did mention a few minutes ago that Magnolia Parks was gifted to me and annotated by my bestie for Christmas. So that is definitely an option. Let me see if there's anything else. I also have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy, which was gifted to me a couple years ago for my birthday by Bestie Peyton. I don't think I want to start this series yet until I reread the rest of the off-campus books first. Oh, Christmas, sorry. This is probably Christmas 2024 that she gifted me this, and this was Christmas 25. Maybe this was 23. I think this is Christmas 23. This is Christmas 25. I'm gonna go with Magnolia Parks. So I didn't get to it this month for my bestie's birthday month, but hopefully to it the month after. This is what we do for each other. When we annotate books, we do a little title page with pictures and things. But I don't know if you'll be able to see the rest of her annotations. I have been putting this book off because I'm scared of it. Frankly, quite frankly, scared of it. I have heard it's like Gossip Girl, but set in the UK. Very much Chuck and Blair vibes, which I love Chuck and Blair. So I don't know why I'm super scared of it, but I am excited to get into this. I love a good annotated book. Wish me luck. Book number 7. Read the book that has the cutest cover. Okay, that's a lot. Let's take a look. I feel like I need to go with the romance because those are typically the cutest covers, in my opinion. Do I have any that like really stands out to me? I pulled out 2 options. One is Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn. I have picked this for so many TBRs, even probably a couple of the ones I've done for YouTube. Got this 3 years ago. Still haven't read it. Hey, still haven't read it. I love this cover though. Something about like a bachelorette trip in Santorini or just a girl's trip and she meets a guy. Typical romance. So we have this, and then I also pulled out It Happened One Fight by Maureen Lee Lenker. I bought this because of the cover, so I thought it was going to pick for this prompt. Let me read the back. The only thing worse than starring opposite Dash Howard is accidentally being married to him, Tinseltown's favorite leading man, and a perpetual thorn in Joan's side. Okay, this one seems to be a fake marriage, but they actually are legally married, so they're trying to convince people that it wasn't a mistake. I am feeling more inclined to pick this, but I feel like I should pick this because I've had it longer and it's been on so many TBRs. And it is getting to summer and it's giving summer vibes. This is giving more like fall vibes. I do typically fly through Megan Quinn books too, and I haven't read one since 2023. And she used to be one of my favorite authors I would read all the time. So I think I'm gonna pick Vacation Wars. Am I actually gonna read this time? I'm gonna do my best. Okay, we have 7 books. That means we have 1 more to pick. Read the book that's at the very bottom of your shelf. That is most of the books. So I kind of have free reign for this one. I will say it is my fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian thrillers, mostly at the bottom 2, because I have 1 shelf below this thriller shelf right here that is all romance books, and then 1 more shelf below that that's a little bit runoff romance, and the rest of that shelf is fantasy and thriller, and then I have 1 over here on the bottom of this side that is a little more fantasy and dystopian sci-fi. So I'm just gonna kind of say not a romance, because that's mainly what the bottom shelves are. Let me pull maybe 1 or 2 options and we'll see what I pick. I feel like I should pick a fantasy because I don't have a fantasy on here yet. But do I want to read a fantasy? No. Okay, I'm cheating the system again. Don't be mad. This technically is not on the bottom of my shelf, this specific book, but the series is. I am going to reread Zodiac Academy Book 1, The Awakening, because on the bottom of this shelf I have books 2 and 3. But I haven't read this one for 2 or 3 years. I remember some parts and I do remember the very end of it, but I just feel like I need to give it a quick little reread to refresh my memory. And this can be my Kindle book for at nighttime once I finish the House of Hidden Meanings. So this book technically wasn't on the bottom of my shelf, but the rest of the series is. And in order to read the rest of the series, I need to reread the first book. So is it cheating? Maybe. Again, do I care? No, not at all. I will do as I please. These are the ones that are left that we haven't picked yet. I'm going to find like a little mug or something to put them in so we know those are the ones we're still working through. I don't have a mug right next to me right now. And then the ones we've already used I will put back into the box for when we go through the whole thing. Let's quickly go through these books one more time and the prompts I'm using for them. For choose a romance to read, I have picked The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is going to be a reread. Pick your most recent purchase to read, which would be The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden. Read a nonfiction book, The House of Hidden Meanings by RuPaul. Read a sequel, Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Read the book that has been on your TBR the longest, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Read a book that you were gifted, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Read the book that has the cutest cover, Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn. And finally, read the book that's at the very bottom of your shelf, Zodiac Academy, The Awakening by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. So those are the 8 books I will hopefully be getting to in June. When I do my July wrap up, I will let you know which ones I actually got through and my ratings for all of them. You also probably see some in some reading vlogs I have planned. I'm really trying to take this channel a little more seriously this year. I have missed doing videos about books and talking about books on here. I was trying to do a different YouTube channel for my small business, but my short form content over there does better than long form for my small business, so it's not really worth it for me to continue doing long form videos over there. So I'm now putting that energy into over here, hopefully. But again, I run a small business. It's 24/7 for me most of the time. So still going to be quite busy, but I'm going to do my best to work in some time to work on this channel, get some more reading vlogs out this year, even if they're just weekly read it with me vlogs, whatever I can. Which actually is probably going to be the next video I post. Either that or my bookshelf reset. Stay tuned for that as well. It's a disaster right now, if you can tell. I'm not even going to show you the other side of the shelves because it's worse. Going to make them look really pretty. We're also going to redo my reading corner chair area because that's a total nightmare. I am in the process of cleaning out like my entire room and going through everything, and this is going to be the last portion, so I need to do some other stuff first. And like I said, I'm waiting on some Lego sets to come out and build them so I can put them on my shelf. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you again very soon.